Blijf staan. Blijf zo staan alsjeblieft. Kut. Ja, dankjewel. Yo mensen, welkom bij deze nieuwe livestream. We gaan LA Noire doen. Het is een ja, hoe moet ik het zeggen? Dus wacht hè. Zoals politie, maar boeven vangen. En wat nog?
Gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Flight Rose of the homicide squad has decided to take it.
Ik heb wel uitpakt willen. Okay.
Miss Floyd and the steely edge she brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves the place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a chair. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Do you have the address?
Been all over KGPL. It's off Temple Street, between Belmont and Glendale.
The heck?
Seems like a nice boy.
Through this intersection.
What happened to partner?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Game. So they're both clearing the deck.
Where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you, and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
Ja, jezus.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
Medallion. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
Were any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads, and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets him a beef with his wife. Takes it too far. It should be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's going to happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is.
Kan hij niet aan de kant gaan?
Crime scene is just up a dirt road, detective.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a
Begin
mother,
kijken,
asshole?
ook
A
bij
sister?
stream.
How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
You're used to it, Phelps. Moving along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Bloed, 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 bloed. Een vrouw.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with. What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
Cause of death?
Could be the head injuries. She has been badly stomped.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
What about this wound on the finger?
Something removed. A ring, most likely. I assume it was taken post-mortem.
Interesting. What does the writing on the victim mean?
BD. Like Dahlia? Tex? Your guess is as good as mine. Could be something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent. Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game. The Bomba Club. Why steal a table lighter? The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body.
If we get to the bomba, a man could die of thirst in a case like this. Hang a right. Don't turn here.
The werewolf?
For my money, a copycat.
Good.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? A big head to hang on your wall. The caller of the decade. You've been working evidence on the BD case for 6 months and got nicks.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, Oddshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around and leaves someone with a corpse?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Let me finish, Phelps. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. Or some opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures, he'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastical.
You know, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible for police work. There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder. It was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phillips, I understand you want to turn this into a big case, but it doesn't work like that, all right? A case will come and find you. You can't make it something it ain't, understand?
So you don't think the werewolf has continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
Zessen. Links.
Chance. You would have found it.
1. 2. 3.
Okay, so go left at the next one. Keep on straight. Take the next right. You're taking the next left.
Zie je niet afkomen?
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Fire away, Phelps. I'll stay here. I'm a little parched. Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
So, how'd you tune it?
Detective Phelps, LAPD. We're investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine? Christ. Sure I know her. She and I and Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine is...
House officer.
Jacob.
Was
Sorry mensen.
a lovely woman.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
You know him?
No. He's been in a couple of times.
Did they leave together?
Yes. At around 11. If it helps, I made the guy's license plate.
Sam is taking...
I think this could be a great help, sir.
2B88.
Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Did she have it a long time?
Sure. Since way back in her flying days.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
Was it valuable? Could it be motive for her murder?
Who could say these days? I think it had more sentimental than monetary value.
Ene fout. Oké, nou te gaan mensen.
Sure, I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. He put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about that?
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up. Asked him to come pick her up, like usual. But he refused. She picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
Thanks, Mr. McCall. You've been a big help. One more thing. Would you have an address for Celine?
142 North Union Avenue. God knows I had to send her home in enough cabs to remember that.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
Let's get out of here.
Ronnie.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that. Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, detective?
I can help.
I need a
detective.
registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, detective. I'll need to contact the DMV. Shall I relay the details via KGPL?
Please. Thanks.
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
Smart man might know.
Kijk ook naar links, naar rechts.
It's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical.
van hier naar links. Dan rechts. Links. Tweede rechts. Links, tweede
Maybe the men
rechts.
combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor, our ancestors wouldn't have tasted the forbidden fruit.
Minor syntactical
Wacht. Nee.
error, Detective Galloway.
Terug
I
naar
never
beneden.
claimed to be able to prevent crimes. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. It's worse than I could ever have imagined.
Any central unit, car 16L reports a possible jumper at...
Waar is dat? Crimineel.
And hope the Methodist Church unit to handle code 2 identify.
Stay on this road.
Oh, ik weet dat hij dat nu zegt.
Take the next right.
Henry. Die heet Henry. Henry 350.
I'll try the back door. Wait here a second.
Jezus.
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
You said I had to go back, Doctor.
The fires are cathartic. They allow you to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues
Ik is
had made all
altijd die
the necessary
dokter.
You said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before. I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal with it.
You said the house would be empty.
Ja.
How can I find peace?
Tiffany? The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing
Tiffany
ring.
ook cool.
I don't think this is going to help us.
A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive.
No good to me.
Burglar used a pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
I doubt it.
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on. If one of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Call in burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
Don't take all day about it, Phelps. I'll get nasty when I'm thirsty. Galloway, homicide, badge number 564. Requesting technical services for a suspected 459 at 142 North Union.
Wasn't safe around here anymore.
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan. Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but Celine had been drinking. And she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and then sit down.
You can drive. Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say. Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead. Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh,
for
my God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
She's...
We're going to have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus. I'm sorry.
I get even the slightest sense.
Seems irrelevant.
Flight risk, pal. You think the atmosphere's thick in here? Wait till you try to gas it. He'll be back any moment. Just sit down.
The oldest problem there is, what to do about the old lady.
Size 11s. So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
We get the impression that Celine liked to live the glamorous life. How did she end up with a hump like you, Jacob?
Celine was one of the first woman pilots. She hung out with movie stars and royalty. But when she came back here broke and she married a mechanic. Put a roof over her head, food on the table. Not glamorous, but the best I could do. I'm not ashamed about that.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
And how are we meant to believe that, Jacob? It isn't looking
Ga
good for you.
altijd fout. Volgende keer kruis ik.
That nosy bitch from next door, Janie Horgan. She'll tell you I left. And what time.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
You went to her house, you fought, you beat her, she left, and then you followed her.
I left first. She tried to batter me with a frying pan. I
Altijd fout.
had to slap her down.
Understandable.
So you can prove that you came back here after you left your wife's place.
I came back here. I was here all night. Start work at 6:30. Not the going out type.
Did a neighbor see you? Did you talk to anyone? You need an alibi, Jacob.
Niks serieus.
I have one. I was here. I listened to Amos and Andy on the radio, and then I went to bed.
We're still gonna need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
Okay.
You're awful.
Let's just leave it at that.
What's this bunkum?
You're not being rational.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Operator, message for KGPL.
KGPL.
Get through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective. You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument. Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt.
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doctor. Operator, give me R&I. Any word on an owner for that vehicle?
Geen
License
kijken,
was
goed
2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One,
Wie
Detective.
is aan het kijken is de
From
reactie.
Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in.
Alonzo Mendez. Sound like a man who moonlights as the werewolf?
Don't sound like a man I'd let my daughter anywhere near.
You've got a daughter.
Spend enough time drink.
Can you drive to this one? Brother said she took...
Wie is aan het kijken is reactie alsjeblieft. Nog 2 kijkers, welk weer stream.
Mendez. apartment 16.
Apart. 16. Waar is 16? Boven. Is op de vierde verdieping. 1, 2, 3. Ah, dat is de vierde. Daar, helemaal van achter.
Just kick the door in. Take a look around and see what you can find.
Dag 2 kijkers, welkom op je stream.
Maybe if... No.
Een sleutel.
Doesn't tell me anything. Probably nothing.
Ooh.
Brothers could match the color and brand of the body. Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
We have the murder weapon. Better get Pinker down here.
Wie zijn kijkers, door reacties alsjeblieft.
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break. Captain Donald would begin to like you.
Hey, what gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there.
Het is een achtervolging, mensen.
You don't need to do this, Alonzo.
Get in and drive.
Sorry.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Clean this asshole off the road.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
Hoppa.
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
You did a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian. Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
Wie zijn kijkers, reactie alsjeblieft. Ik heb city damage, maar ja. Ik ga even iets halen, mensen. Ik ben zo druk.
To cool the lava you pump through my veins, 'cause I'm burning up for you.
Hoeveel volgers heb ik op TikTok? 962. Ik heb iets sturen aan Matthias. Wacht. Als Matthias op Fortnite is, ga ik op Fortnite.
Yeah, I'll bring him. After all.
What have we got?
New case. White female dumped in plain sight in the grass at the end of Hill Street. Hacks are all over it. Captain's trying to fend them off.
That sounds awfully similar.
The first rule of police work is make no assumptions until you've seen the evidence. Skipper wants you to have your newspaper face on, college boy. I think I know the place where they found the lady. It overlooks Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
Wat gaat verschieten. Ja, 2 deur open.
You need to turn left at the next junction. You did a decent job on the Henry case, Phelps. Not bad for your first time at bat.
Thanks, Rusty.
But don't go getting ahead of yourself. That's one clearance under your belt. Now it's a new day with a new dead lady. It needs our attention.
And no assumptions until we see the evidence, right?
Right. See, I knew you were a fast learner, Phelps. We might get along after all.
Moet je boven zijn?
Pick a right.
Ja, kijk. Ik heb links genomen.
Take the next left.
En nu zeg je beneden, wat is het nu?
You're taking the next left.
Hier links, oké. Oh.
Now boys, you know as much as I do. I'll be holding a press conference once the autopsy's been completed. I have 2 of my finest investigators on the case. Fresh from bringing down the sword of justice on the crazed sex...
Captain, aren't there similarities between this murder and the murder of Celine Henry? And of Elizabeth Short, for that matter?
So you don't believe there's a crazed sex killer at large preying on women?
Boys, be sensible. We have the greatest police force in all the world with the greatest scientific investigators at our disposal. How can any killer continue to be that? Be advised. We keep the gas chamber at San Quentin primed for the sons of Cain who continue to believe they can take a life in the City of Angels.
Yeah, right. Any new leads in the Dahlia case?
Run along, boys, and let these officers get to work. We have God's work to do here, and it can't be delayed.
What do we have, Captain?
Another woman sacrificed. Speak to Carruthers. I want daily reports, gentlemen.
Detective, I was first on scene.
Any ideas?
No other reporters. Just get the juice from the reporting officer in the corner.
So what's going on over there?
You find her, Gonzalez?
Not me. Family out for a stroll. I was first reporting.
Can you show me the body?
It's under the pepper tree, this way.
Can't be much help to you, Phelps.
Here she is.
Mad.
The stomping angle in the Henry case. Was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
Weer een vrouw of wat?
The stomping angle in the Henry case. Was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
Signature mark is very
distinctive. I'll do some comparisons back at the lab and get back to you.
Wacht aan mensen. Nog iemand? Nope.
Looks like she was tied up.
It does at first, but that would leave a mark on her other wrist too. I think her watch might have been torn off.
Oei joh.
What's this mark? Cut on a finger.
Fourth finger, left hand. A wedding or engagement ring. Violently removed.
Nederlands, dat is ik voor.
Oh, we have a name. Can you run Deirdre Muller by RNI?
Back in a second.
If the motive was robbery, why not take the money?
Nee, ik heb Fortnite speel mensen. Bedankt voor het kijken naar deze livestream. Abonneer zeker op deze kanaal en tot bij de volgende video mensen. Bye bye mensen.